I was a very sceptical young man at school here in Cambridge. I thought I knew all the answers. Science would explain everything, you know. And why did people believe in ghosts? Absolute rubbish. I mean, scientific age. But I got a mother at home who was a very sensible little woman, and she seemed to be able to forecast what was going to happen. There's a contradiction, you see. I knew my mother was sensible, she wasn't nuts. And yet, somehow or other, science seemed to explain everything. So I thought, well, I don't know, this is odd. And I went out to India, and I was in the Navy, and I saw some very peculiar things out there. The most peculiar thing, I was told that we were all on leave up in the Nilgiri Hills, which is South India, 6,000 feet up. And I was told that there was a fakir, a holy man, up in the mountains. Anyway, cut a long story short, I went up to see him. It was a long climb up this hill, and there he was on a flat piece of ground with a sheer drop on the other side. And I had to go through a gully, and he knew I was there, and he said, what do you want? And I said, I hear you can do miracles. And he said, all right, okay, but you're far too materialistic, but anyway, I'll give you what you want. Look over the hills, my son. About 70. Look over the hills. I thought, well, I'd better pacify this silly old twit. I'm looking over the hills, he's standing here. And I think, that's funny. And I turn and he's not there. He's the other side of a stream rushing down. Now, I was a boxer in those days and very fit, and I couldn't have done it. And I thought, how'd you get there? Cunning old devil, ropes, hell, couldn't do it, I can't do it. And he's saying, look over the hills. And I'm looking, look over the hills, and I thought, I'd better look over the hills. What? And then the voice says, well, my son, did that entertain you? And he's back to me. It shook me rigid. I was very arrogant to start with. When I went down that hill from that little episode, I wasn't half as cocky as when I went up.